We weather the storm and the squalls on the shore, dropping ill anecdotes that you ain't heard before. This ain't casting away, it's a deep sea dive, extracting the truth so the culture can thrive. We dissect every piece of the wreckage and rust, turning nautical tales into audible trust. So batten the hatches and lock the main gate. The Shipwreck Podcast is determining fate. Yo, we weather the storm and the squalls on the shore, dropping ill anecdotes that you ain't heard before. This ain't casting away, it's a deep sea dive, extracting the truth so the culture can thrive. We dissect every piece of the wreckage and rust, turning nautical tales into audible trust. So batten the hatches and lock the main gate. The Shipwreck Podcast is determining fate. Yo, we weather the storm and the squalls on the shore, dropping ill anecdotes that you ain't heard before. This ain't casting away, it's a deep sea dive, extracting the truth so the culture can thrive. We dissect every piece of the wreckage and rust, turning nautical tales into audible trust. So batten the hatches and lock the main gate. The Shipwreck Podcast is determining fate. Yo, we weather the storm and the squalls on the shore, dropping ill anecdotes that you ain't heard before. This ain't casting away, it's a deep sea dive, extracting the truth so the culture can thrive. We dissect every piece of the wreckage and rust, turning nautical tales into audible trust. So batten the hatches and lock the main gate. The Shipwreck Podcast is determining fate.
Yo, welcome everybody back to the Shipwreck Podcast. I'm your host, Bobby Ship. Hope everybody's having a great day, great week, great summer. It's been pretty eventful for me. Happy to be back with everybody. Happy to have another conversation about life, about the world, about what's going on with everything. I'm looking forward to this pod, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking forward to it. Because it's another one of those fun ones. You know. We're gonna sit here, we're gonna talk about bucket list. What's on your bucket list? What's on my bucket list? What have we accomplished? What is still yet to be accomplished, you know? We always gonna talk about stuff that's going on in the world. Program note next week, we will definitely have the author of the book, Cherie's book, will be here next week to talk about her book, and hopefully we can all learn something from that. As well as 2 weeks from that, we're going to go over our accountability boards. That'll be our 90-day mark. So I'm really looking forward to that, us doing a 90-day accountability mark. I think that's going to be really, 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 really good to see the progress that we made and what 90 days of helping to hold each other accountable can do for us. You know, I'm really looking forward to that. So, yeah, it's going to be a really good show. As always, it's always going to be a good show. But first things first, I wanted to before we go any further, you know, the military and our armed forces is very near and dear to our heart. And this past week, we lost 4 service members that really shouldn't have perished in Jordan as well as Iraq. And I want to have a moment of silence for those 4 service members that passed. But before that, I wanted to tell you, show you their faces and say their names and as well, because it's really a tragedy. At this point, this war is unjust. It's not anything that we're going to honestly, in my point, win, and we're just losing people for vanity at this point. But I wanted to go ahead and name everyone. The first one is Sergeant Angel Rempestad. I hope I pronounced her name right. She was 28 years old, Sergeant. You have Sergeant Michael Swinton. He is 30 years old. He was promoted after his death to staff sergeant. You have the youngest, who is Isabella Gonzalez. She was a private at the age of 19. She passed away. And lastly, was First Sergeant Tyler Feenhan, and he was a first lieutenant, and he was 25 years old when he passed. So I just want to give a moment of silence to them before we continue on with the show. All right, y'all. That we got the sad part out of the way. Now let's get to the some of the angry parts. Why we're still at war. We are still at war with Iran. You know, we're on again, we're off again, we're on again, we're off again. But right now we're on again. And like I said earlier, I just don't see us winning anything at this point. The best we can hope for is for things to go back to what they were before February 28th. We dropped the first bomb. Uh, but that hasn't happened yet. Trump refuses to accept his loss that is coming. I think the Strait of Hormuz will forever be changed. I think a lot of other uh, strategic waterways will also go that way if we were to try to be bullies of whatever country as well. It's just a shame. It really is just a shame. But the latest thing that came out today was here is Trump talking about from this point forward, anytime the Islamic Republic of Iran shoots at a ship in the Strait of Hormuz, whether it be a missile, rocket, drone, or any other device or weapon, the United States will bomb and destroy one bridge or power plant. War crime. That's me saying it, not him. But that's what it is. It's a war crime, including those located next to or in the capital city of Tehran. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Again, that's just a flat out war crime. You go ahead and bombing infrastructure, you know, and it doesn't have any military use. That is the definition of a war crime. It just is. And so it boggles my mind how far we have gone as a country. And the reason why I say as a country, because I know, yes, we all didn't vote for this, and I know we all. He's one man. He's our president. He's our representative, whether we like it or not, whether you like it or not, whether I like it or not. He's our representative, and because of that, he's out here making us look like shit. But honestly, we're doing it on our own because again, we voted him in. Again, we aren't asking for accountability. So here we are. Here we are. So yeah, here we are. All right, we got some guests already ready to join the show. First up, as always, my brother Ronnie. How we doing today, Ronnie?
What's good? What's good, bro, man? What's good? Good to see you, man. Good to
Good,
see
good,
you
good.
again.
Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Yeah, I like I said, I really wish that idea came to my head. I was in had a great week this past week. I was in Virginia, so I got to hang out with Ronnie a little bit,
Mhm.
and so it would have been great to do a live podcast with him. That'd have been really fantastic. So next time I get up to Virginia, we're definitely going to do that. I'm really looking
That,
forward to
bet,
that. Yeah, yeah.
bet, bet, bet.
Next up is Sister Wu. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep, I got you loud and clear. Loud and clear. Loud
Happy
and
Wu
clear.
Tang Wednesday.
Happy Wu Tang Wednesday. Happy Wu Tang Wednesday. Hold on, I'm trying to take off here. Yeah, how'd the camera keep talking? Yeah. All right. There we go. Uh can you can you hear us, Sister Wu?
Yep, I can hear
Okay,
you.
cool. Cool, cool, cool. How was your week? How you doing so far?
I am great. I just came from the gym,
Uh-huh.
um, strength training and doing all the things, and had a good day at work. And yeah, it was good.
Cool, cool, cool. All right, so I just had a started off sad. I gave a moment of silence to the four soldiers that just passed away this past week in the war, and read off their names. I just started. Now I'm starting the angry phase. So we got a quick video or video of Pete Hegseth, our favorite head of the War Department. I don't know why they call it the War Department. Anyway, that's another thing in itself. But him getting his ass handed to him with all of the lies that they have been saying about the Iran war, And then so after that, we're going to go to the latest with um, Wells. How's his name skip? I forget his name that fast. Um, from Mississippi, who passed away from the boat. We're going to talk about him, and then we're going to get into our bucket list. I'm really looking forward to the bucket list. I have some of mine I want to talk about that I've accomplished, and some things that's still on my list. So I'm really looking forward to that. We're going to end with something fun, but let's look at Pete Hegseth first. With what happened with him with Congress this past week, and it was the exchange between him and Ossoff from Georgia. I think if he wins his Georgia race, what it looks like right now, I think he's up 5 or 6 points. If he wins his Georgia race again, I think he's probably, in my book, the leading contender for the presidential nomination for the Democrats.
Who's that?
One, he's a white Ossoff, the senator from Georgia.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
One,
Nolan
he's a
Wells.
younger, yeah, Nolan Wells, yeah. He's a younger white man, heterosexual. He checks the box from a southern state. He's won battleground states. I think he checks all the boxes that I think a lot of people will probably vote for. But anyway, I wanted to show you him because he handed Pete Hegseth his ass. Here we go.
Asa.
I'll yield my time to Senator Ossoff.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you all for your testimony. And General Kane, let me just begin by expressing on behalf of all Georgians our immense gratitude and admiration for the service members who are making tremendous sacrifices and conducting themselves with extraordinary selflessness and professionalism on behalf of the United States and our state's unified condolences and grief for the families of the 4 killed in action. And our hope for a swift recovery for the nearly 100 wounded over the last 2 weeks. And thank you to you for your service to the nation. Mr. Hegseth, you're requesting roughly $68 billion for the department through this supplemental, correct?
67, yes.
And yesterday, your department stated publicly, quote, U.S. forces struck Iranian military command centers, maritime capabilities, missile and drone launch sites, and air defense systems to degrade Iran's ability to continue attacking commercial vessels. That was a press release from your department. Is that a broadly accurate characterization of ongoing operations?
That sounds broadly accurate, yes.
On day 14 of this conflict, Mr. Secretary, day 14, nearly 5 months ago, you stated that Iran's military had been, quote, destroyed and, quote, made combat ineffective. That was on day 14 of the war. Was that an accurate statement?
They didn't have a Navy any longer. It's completely sunk. Their missiles were buried underneath a lot of their underground facilities, and their defense industrial base has been almost completely destroyed. So as far as a military assessment of Iran's capabilities, it didn't mean by any stretch of the imagination absolute zero, but their capabilities
Mr. Secretary,
at the lowest level
you
they've been in
stated
a very
that
long time.
on day 14 of this conflict, in the second week of the conflict, you stated that Iran's military had been, quote, destroyed and, quote, made combat ineffective. Was that an accurate statement? Yes or no?
Iran's ability to challenge the United States of America at the level at which we're capable of.
That's not what I asked you, Mr. Secretary. You said on day 14, Iran's military had been, quote, destroyed and, quote, made combat ineffective. Yes or no? Was that an accurate statement?
What the American military has
Will you
done
answer
to
the
the
question?
Iranian military is a historic military
Will you
defeat,
answer the
and
question
they're ineffective
under oath?
in that context.
3 weeks later, you declared victory. That was now nearly 4 months ago. 3 weeks after you'd already said Iran's military was destroyed and combat ineffective, you said, quote, Operation Epic Fury was a historic and overwhelming victory. You said Iran's military had been rendered, quote, combat ineffective for years to come. And you stated we had, quote, achieved every single objective. Were those accurate statements?
It certainly was, on behalf of the men and women in uniform, a historic military victory over Iran.
Had
There are
Iran's
other-
military been rendered, quote, combat ineffective for years to come? That was
they
a
had
statement that you made 4 months ago.
They had 160 naval vessels
You need
in
to
the
answer
Blue
the
Water
questions,
Navy,
Mr.
and they're gone.
Secretary.
Their
You
Air
said-
Force
you
is
said 4 months
completely
ago.
combat ineffective,
You
and they
said
don't
4
have a
months
defense
ago.
industrial base.
Excuse
So
me, Mr.
describe to me a
Secretary.
country that doesn't have an Air Force, a Navy, or a defense industrial base, and
Mr.
I will describe to
Secretary.
you a country that does not have an effective
Mr.
military.
Secretary, you
It
stated-
can lob missiles. Got
Mr.
it.
Secretary, you stated
missiles,
4
but it's
months
not a
ago
combat
that
effective
Iran's
military.
military had been rendered, quote, combat ineffective for years to come. Has Iran's military been, for the last 4 months, combat ineffective?
It's been set back not just years, but likely decades.
You
considering
stated we
it
had,
can't
quote,
build at the level
you
it did
stated-
before and not
you
even
stated
close.
we
It doesn't
had,
mean it
quote,
doesn't have capabilities.
Mr. Secretary, you stated we had, quote, achieved every single objective. Was that an accurate statement 4 months ago?
The main objective of this was to ensure that Iran never gets a nuclear weapon. Their main sites were obliterated. We're watching over them, and we're holding them at issue. If they don't give them up at the table, there's other ways we can take them
Early
away.
in the conflict
Iran will
on
never
day
have a
3,
nuclear
Mr.
weapon.
Secretary, early in the conflict, day 3, you said one of those core objectives was to, quote, destroy the missile threat, and as you restated on day 5, to, quote, obliterate Iran's missiles and drones. Those were clearly and repeatedly stated core objectives of the campaign, which 4 months ago you declared had been completed victoriously with every single objective achieved. Were those objectives achieved 4 months ago?
No one ever stated that every single missile was gone. Ultimately, combat ineffective means they're not able to dig them out of their UGFs and shoot
Had
at
the
us.
missile
It
threat
doesn't mean they
been
don't
defeated
have
4
underground
months
facilities
ago?
where they put missiles in them and hold on to them because they're the world's largest state sponsor of terrorism. So we never expected they would stop having capabilities to shoot. The question is at scale against an opponent like the United States of America, which went toe-to-toe with them and Iran couldn't. And
You
cannot
stated on
handle it.
March 8th, day 9 of the war, on 60 Minutes, you assured the American people of Iranian surrender. Does that remain your prediction?
Ultimately, Iran will never have a nuclear weapon to threaten the United States of America. That has been the objective, and it remains so.
So just to review, you will not answer whether your statement made on the 14th day of the war that Iran's military had been, quote, destroyed and made combat ineffective was a truthful statement to the American people as you sit here and ask for tens of billions more
The
for the conflict.
senator's time has
Had a
expired.
historic and effective military campaign against the largest state sponsor of terrorism.
Won't
and
answer
will
the
ensure they
question.
never
Senator
get a nuclear
Peters
weapon, Senator.
is recognized.
That to me was really good. I think putting his words in front of his face and having him say, "Is this still true? Is this still true? Is this still true?" This war is senseless. It really is. Angel, what did you think of the video? Sister Wu, can you hear me? I don't know if I lost her. Ryan, what you thought of it?
Man, I watched that most of it yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't directly answer any questions,
Yeah.
none. He just gave a spin around. You know who actually would, I'm sure, is biting at the bit to really answer this question is the general.
Mm-hmm. He can't be honest though. He can't be honest with them. Yeah.
No. Listen. I respect him because he has to hold the ground and do his job and answer the questions that are asked, but he knows he can't step past those lines. You
Mhm.
understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he is a 4-star general with 30 plus years. He could actually tell the truth. I mean, what are they gonna do? Fire him? What are they gonna do? Go home and
Yeah, they're gonna fire him. They're gonna.
Live.
That's what will happen. They're gonna fire him. Trump will fire him.
but you got to understand, this man is a 4-star general.
I
They gonna do
understand.
make him go home.
Understand.
So
Yes,
the point I'm
they,
trying to
they
make.
did that to they did that to the other command.
He was already at home. He already had a job. You know what I'm saying? He came back because they asked him to come back. You know what I mean? But the whole point I'm trying to make, what you gonna do? Make me go home? That ain't a bad thing. What's bad about that?
Mhm.
If I told you the truth about something, or I told the American people about, hey, what's going on behind your back, but sometimes you don't tell everybody everything. You can't. I mean, sometimes you just don't. And that's why I say I respect him for what he's doing, because I know he in a very tough position.
Yeah, he's in a
When
bad
you
spot.
at that level, when you at their level, bro, they know so much stuff, man, that they can't tell the truth about everything. You just can't. You know what I'm saying? So the whole point
Mhm.
about what I'm trying to say is, like, did he answer the questions? No, he ain't gonna answer the questions. Is he gonna get that money? Yeah, they're gonna eventually give him the money, right? Because what they gonna have to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
we
they know
always got
that.
money for war. Yeah, we always got money for war.
Right,
We
right.
do.
Just like Pac said, always got money for war, but can't feed the poor, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the whole thing I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to say is like, what's going to happen is they're going to dig that what they're doing. And I said this in the very beginning of this podcast, probably a year ago when this all happened. I said, what's going to happen in these next couple of years? And exactly what I said is happening. He's going to get us in a war. It's going to be so messy that he's not going to be able to be impeached. They can't impeach him because when you're in a war in a certain situation, you can't impeach the president because they're going to think about
Mm-hmm.
other things instead of spending money on investigating the president. They're gonna have to be like, oh shit, I got to spend this $1 billion on sending these bullets over here for my troops. Which one am I gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So they know what they're doing, bro. This is a game plan. These cats know, man. I told y'all they didn't plan this out for. This ain't chess. This ain't checkers either. This all the games of one. This is Monopoly, chess, checkers, and any other game that you can potentially put in the mix of. There are no rules in what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? They make them up as they go, and they know what they're doing. They know how it's going to come out. They know what the outcome is going to
Yeah.
be, and they know that people don't have
The
anything.
outcome,
Even the senators know that stuff, man. They know what's going to happen. Matter
the
of fact,
outcome is not going to be good for the United States, in my opinion. The outcome is not. I mean, go ahead.
Matter of fact, listen. Matter of fact, when Kamala was running, she's literally all of them said this is it's exactly what they said he was going to do. He did. He's doing. He's did. Or he's doing. Or he's going to
Mm-hmm.
do. All you gotta do is go back and listen to what they was telling. He's going to do this, this. And if you had a check mark in a box, you'd be checking all the boxes. Yep. And this is before he got elected. Yep. And he's rocking it.
Yep.
And
All the
so the
Project
point I'm trying to
2025
make
stuff.
is they were talking about this years ago, bro.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't just happened because they was campaigning. They was talking about this years ago when they said if he ever get back in office, this is what was going to happen. He's going to get rid of Roe v. Wade. He's going to try to pull back the civil rights thing. You know what I'm saying? They knew this years ago. You know what I'm saying? So the thing that people don't understand is like if you think about what they're talking about, if you ever listen to Obama or about any of the old leaders, they're not really panicking. They like, yeah, we knew this shit was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? This now we just gotta go with the repercussions of it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like I said, so a lot of this stuff I'm glad it's happening because people need to realize
Yeah.
that when you don't actually do your research and put the right people in charge, these are the things that are going to happen.
We are actively touching the
Period.
stove. That's what we're doing. We're actively touching the stove. But yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yes.
That's what we're doing. All right, let's move on. Let's move
Yes,
on.
we
Yeah, let's move on to Nolan Wells again. So tonight's subject, we're doing a bucket list. So think right now, what's on your bucket list? What is the thing that you knew that you always wanted to do that you haven't done yet, or one of the things that you always wanted to do that you did do? You know, and there's different ways to let us know in the pod. You can call in and come on the video. If you're camera shy, it's okay. You can actually use the phone, call in that way. You know, if you don't want to call in that way, you don't want to use your voice, but God damn it, just use the comments. Okay, we're here for everybody. We want to hear what you got to say. Also, hit like, hit subscribe. We want to continue to grow the channel. The channel is growing. Also, if you're on Facebook, hit the share button on Facebook so more people can see it as well. Because I'm really looking forward to this one. But every single episode that we have. So, Nolan Wells, the latest that we have to now is the lawyer Crump went on had a press conference today at the NAACP meeting in Mississippi, and he laid out what the autopsy had to say about Nolan Wells. The independent autopsy was two done. One done by the state of Mississippi. Their findings have not come out yet, and one done by the family of young brother Wells. And those findings have come out, and we're going to share that or have the video so you can see what was said about that. Yeah. So, and I just wanted to say also the autopsy was actually paid for. Just want to give a shout out to the people who has been helping the family out tremendously. The autopsy was paid for by Colin Kaepernick. The funeral was paid for by Tyler Perry. and Allen. I can't think of his first name. His last name is Allen. He's a big mogul, TV mogul. He gave the family $100,000 to pursue the investigation. The latest also in the investigation is, in my opinion, I don't think that the state of Mississippi is taking it very serious. Also, the FBI isn't even investigating his death at all. When it's a travesty for the simple fact that it's not unsurprising considering who's in office and who's in charge of the FBI, but it's a travesty and really makes no sense because he was found on federal land. So more than likely his death happened in the vicinity of federal land. So it should be a federal investigation. Yet the FBI isn't investigating. However, they do have time to investigate threats against the friends of Wells, of Nolan Wells. So the FBI is investigating. They're just investigating on behalf of the friends of Nolan Wells, not for Nolan Wells himself. I wonder why is that. So let's get on with the first one video that just tells you about what happened today as far as what Crump had to say, and then I'm gonna make you mad.
The preliminary results of an independent autopsy report in the death of 18-year-old Nolan Wells have been released. The cause and manner of death have been ruled undetermined, but civil rights attorney Ben Crump says foul play cannot be ruled out. Crump announced the findings during a press conference this morning where Nolan Wells' parents also pleaded for more transparency.
And new video may reveal the last moments Wells was seen alive. Investigators say he disappeared during a 4th of July boat trip with friends and was found dead 2 days later. Let's bring in Skylar Henry, who has been following this news conference today. Skylar, what have you learned about what has happened?
Sure, guys. Well, we are reviewing some of the notes that Attorney Crump put forth during this press conference. As you pointed out there, Vlad, the cause of Wells' death still undetermined, pending an investigation, and that is sort of the crux of where we have been with this case from the very beginning, as not only the family of Nolan Wells, but those in the community have all called for transparency in this case and more clarity from the lead investigative agency, the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, to try to put together a bit more clarity as it relates to a timeline in terms of what may have happened to the 18-year-old on that July 4th weekend. Crump went on to say that based off of the preliminary findings that Wells's body was too decomposed based off of the time the body was sent to Washington, D.C. for that third-party autopsy that was conducted by a well-accomplished pathologist that specializes in this sort of case. But the pathologist also found that the body had marks and also noticed discoloration, red discoloration on the back of his head. But that is something that isn't exactly uncommon, but also something that could potentially be tied to just the manner of which Wells's body was recovered in the or near the ocean in the first place. They are also saying that it is incredibly important to try to figure out what happened to Nolan in terms of him entering the water, whether that was something that was an accident, something that was on purpose. And then also, they say that they are calling for more clarity from the medical examiner in Mississippi who conducted the first autopsy on Nolan Wells, saying that there could potentially be a bit more answers there as it relates to additional clues and findings, especially considering that they are still waiting for parts of his body, his throat and the back of his neck, something that wasn't a part of the second autopsy, to potentially give a bit more clarity in terms of Nolan's airway. Could he have possibly drowned? What were the circumstances around a possible drowning? And was it an accident at all? I think it's also important to stress here that based off of these preliminary findings, that there is also not a toxicology report yet. That is something that we are waiting on from the Mississippi medical examiner, something that they had said initially will take several weeks when this autopsy was conducted 2 weeks ago, in terms of that potentially giving us more clarity as well in terms of these findings. But as you pointed out, Jolene, new information that we have been seeing as it relates to this case includes that video that was sent into TMZ that shows a man in similar blue trunks that match the photo of Nolan Wells that was also taken on that day. It could very well be some of the last footage of him seen alive. We know that his friends left Horn Island, which is about 10 miles off of Mississippi's Gulf Coast, about 30 minutes or so after that video was taken, or excuse me, about an hour and a half after that video was taken, because they were concerned about the boat that they were on taking on water. And so there are a lot of unanswered questions, especially from Nolan's parents, because they say that his cell phone and keys were found with the friends, not with Nolan, who they say chose to stay behind on Horn Island to, quote unquote, meet with a girl. We know that his friends have cooperated with law enforcement officials up until this time, but officials have not given us any sort of indication in terms of what may be happening going forward in terms of the clarity and timeline in this case. We should point out that Crump and his legal team are also asking for this pathologist and his findings to be presented to a grand jury. We also know that this case will be going to a grand jury to determine whether any criminal charges should be brought forth at all in this case. But guys, obviously still a lot of unanswered questions here.
Skylar Henry in Atlanta, thank you so much.
Let's bring in CBS News contributor Jessica Levinson to talk more about this. So Jessica, what you just heard from Skylar, what we know from what Attorney Crump has released, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are that what Skylar said in terms of unanswered questions is exactly right. What we have today is, frankly, more information, but more information that is undetermined in terms of cause of death, in terms of exactly what happened in those last few minutes and hours before Mr. Wells did die. And so what we have here is an independent autopsy. As Skylar said, it's not a toxicology report. There were aspects of this independent autopsy that were, I don't want to say compromised, but made more difficult because there was a first autopsy. And at this point, I think we're just at a place where you can't rule anything in or out. I know for people who want answers, that's difficult, but by definition, undetermined means exactly that.
There is this new footage released of Wells in the hours before he was found dead. What do you think investigators are hoping to piece together with that potential evidence?
So I think at this point, investigators are just trying to have a timeline of what happened. As we heard thus far, friends are cooperating. They're talking about why the phone was left on the boat. Whether, I think part of the reason that we're interested in this footage is exactly where he was at different times, whether he was in swim trunks or clothed. Reporting indicates that he was found face down, fully clothed. They're just trying to piece together before the time of death, what happened leading up to that. And every piece of evidence, like a video or testimony from friends, will be part of putting that narrative together.
So, that, like I said, they're going to convene a grand jury. I think they have to, but I don't see anything happening in this case. I will be shocked if something happened in this case. They're not really investigating. They haven't taken all of the kids' phones. They haven't. It was hundreds of people out there and you're telling me nobody seen what happened to him? Nobody. They're not even invested. They're not even asking everybody. It took them a while to come to the girl who they said that they quote unquote said he left with. And the girl says to the mother, she talked to the mother, that it was high and by. It was no conversation. There was no he's staying with me or any of that. So it's contradictory. Nothing is going to happen. Nothing is going to happen, and as far as I'm concerned. What say you, Ronnie?
Listen, I already did. I talked about this already. So you got to wait for it to play out, bro. I mean, obviously there is something amiss here. There's a athlete that went out with his friends, young athlete, fully healthy, went out with his friends. They came home, he didn't. They got his phone and keys. And you mean to tell me that they came up with a story to say, hey, a black kid from Mississippi is going to go onto this secluded ass island and wait for a girl. How was the girl going to get there? Was she going to swim there? Was she already live there? What do you mean wait for a girl? They don't even make it. I'm gonna stand on the beach and wait for the girl to come because she said she was coming over here. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Obviously that's some bullshit, right? So they said that they found him face down. Face down where? Was he still in the water? Was he on the
Yeah,
beach? Where was he?
he's washed up on the beach. He just washed up on the beach.
Right.
Some in the
Right.
water,
Does he have
right there at the shoreline.
Did
He's
he
at the
have any
shoreline.
water in his lungs? You know what I'm saying? Because that's a big indicator too.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
and
That's
so yes.
go ahead.
So that's the thing. The
That's
independent autopsy, they didn't get any of the organs, so or his throat. So they don't know if there was any water in his throat or on his lungs. They don't know. So the best they could come up with is we don't know. You know what I mean? I'm happy they still needed to do just to make sure that something correctly was done, but they still don't have all the information.
Yeah. So I did some research on that. I'm about to hit them back. I did some research on that, and that's not uncommon actually. They do that a lot when they doing further investigations with stuff. Does it? I mean, what I mean by that, they withhold things because they want to do further investigation on their end before they release everything out. That's not uncommon. I'm gonna be real with you.
Yeah, I'm that's not me. I understand why they held us.
Now would it be something that if I was on the other side of that and I said I was the parent? Yeah, no, you gonna get everything. But you don't have you gotta wait. They gotta wait. You know what I'm saying? The truth always, I shouldn't say that. Eventually you'll get down to the nitty-gritty. And what's gonna happen, in my opinion, is it's just gonna stay undetermined.
It's gonna stay undetermined.
Which means
the
charge it's gonna stay that way. It's the charges the charges can be is gonna be open forever. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So them getting the independent autopsy person that's out of state to come back and say, hey, the ME from Mississippi is full of shit. Well, the ME from Mississippi got a lot of pull because the ME from Mississippi is the ME from Mississippi. And then you got an out of state person that's going to contradict that, say it goes to a trial, right? Who's going to be the one that the people are going to listen to? Because they're going to have the trial in Mississippi. You understand what I mean? Mm-hmm. So unless they come up with something to say, hey, we need to go do it and put it somewhere else where they need to open up an investigation. Obviously, it needed to be a bigger investigation.
Yep.
But the federal government came into a play and say, hey, we're going to come out here and we're going to freaking be independent about it. I mean, but I don't think they want to get into it because I don't think they want to get into it because they already people
I don't
already
think
don't trust them anyway.
No, they're not getting into it simply because of the Trump administration and who's in charge, and they don't care. It's not a priority thing for them. I guarantee you, if it was 3 black kids and a white guy that washed up ashore, the FBI would be all up in this shit. Let's just be real.
Oh, 100%. They're all be locked up right now.
Yeah. So with that being said, I think that's a great segue to why you guys about to be mad, because I came across this video. And I just wanted y'all to see this part, and then we're gonna talk about it on the other end. This is Megyn Kelly pertaining to what she thinks about Nolan Wells and what happened.
We begin with new developments in a story getting a lot of attention right now, and that is the death of 18-year-old Nolan Wells, a Mississippi college freshman whose disappearance after a 4th of July boat trip has become a national story. Immediately after Nolan went missing on July 4th, but before his body was found, his parents had suspicions about the friends he went out partying with that day, most of whom were white, alleging conflicting accounts among friends. Nolan was black, and the possibility that messages had been deleted from Nolan's phone. Possibility, not established fact. They were also suspicious about how his phone made it back onto his friend's boat. The friends returned to shore without Nolan, but Nolan did not. Why would Nolan separate from his phone? And why would his friends have the phone but not Nolan? They also say local authorities were too quick to believe that this was an accident. This is the parents expressing their doubts, Nolan's parents, instead of launching a full investigation. The parents believe that they can't trust the local authorities. And believing that, they reached out for help and, of course, made the critical error of turning to Benjamin Crump and Al Sharpton, which completely changed this entire case.
Get ready to be
because
mad.
If you want to be taken seriously by most of the country, you should never reach out to those 2 race hustlers, or no one will take you seriously again. No one will be able to look at anything those two say through an objective lens. So this was a terrible, terrible mistake by parents, I'm sure, are extremely distraught and were probably confused about where to turn and perhaps did not know about the extremely sordid history of these two race hustlers who have a long established history of being proven liars on race, of injecting it where it doesn't belong, of inflating it into something more than it actually is. You name it, they've done it, while getting rich off of the goodwill of people in the Black community and the white community, for that matter, and beyond, who are convinced by their lies. Nolan's mysterious death has now turned into insinuations of murder, possibly by the white boys he was with, who, as far as we can tell, were his best friends on earth, absolutely loved and adored Nolan,
never met,
and are getting blamed for his death because they're white and they're from Mississippi. I'm sorry, it's beyond effed up. Right now, this looks like a terrible tragedy that needs to be investigated because it is unclear what happened to Nolan after he stayed behind. But there is zero evidence his friends hurt him. Zero. And the witch hunt for the white boys from Mississippi is a bit much. The answer to the loss of one young boy's life is not abject, unfounded ruination of all of his friends' lives because the decedent is Black and their survivors are white. With zero proof, they laid one finger on him. Again, all the evidence so far seems to be that they loved and adored him, and he them.
She would make excuses for anybody. I mean, any white person, to be honest with you. The call, it's like she has no clue what it's like to be Black. She has no clue what it's like to really feel injustice. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. And this is how objective she really is. I'm going to show you. This is her literally defending Jeffrey Epstein. So I want you to understand that I'm happy I'm not drinking right now because I would have said a few cuss words more. Just watch the chick. Just watch the chick.
As for Epstein, I've said this before, but just as a reminder, I do know somebody very, very close to this case who is in a position to know virtually everything. Not everything, but virtually everything. And this person has told me from the start, years and years ago, that Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile. This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-old girls. And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts.
He's going to make an excuse. You'll see.
That he wasn't into like 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen types that could pass for even younger than they were, but would look legal to a passerby. And that is what I believed, and that was what I reliably was told for many years. And it wasn't until we heard from Pam Bondi that they had tens of thousands of videos of alleged, forgive me, they used to call it kiddie porn, now they call it child sexual abuse material, on his computer, that for the first time I thought, oh no, he was an actual pedophile. I mean, only a pedophile gets off on young children abuse videos. She's never clarified it. I don't know whether it's true. I have to be honest. I don't really trust Pam Bondi's word on the Epstein matters anymore. Yeah, so I don't know what's true about him, but we have yet to see anybody come forward and say, I was I was under 10. I was under 14 when I first came within his purview. You can say that's a distinction without a difference.
No, it's not.
I think there is a difference. Yeah. There's a difference between a 15-year-old and a 5-year-old.
Yeah, it's just she just made an excuse for it. So you can rape 15-year-olds. That's a little different. This chick is supposed to be objective when she know nothing about real race relations or anything like that. She's a terrible fucking human being.
Man, they torched her ass for that. I remember that. But listen, she is one of them sensationalists, man. She gonna say whatever it is that she thinks on her mind, and people can. She not now. You got to remember, she not reporting any news. She is one of those people that just want to say stuff in their minds,
Yeah,
which she has
she
free
makes
speech
people
to
feel
say, and
good.
then,
She
but
makes
then
people
she got to
feel
go with the
better.
consequences. Right? She got it. Well, she got to take them consequences. She's willing to do that. And you talking about? We already talked about it, looking in the comments, like somebody catching for somebody for lies. Like, come on, man. That girl that lady that got vilified on so much things, so many fact check thing in her face, and she knows it. That's why she just says what she wants,
She
and
makes
people still listen
people
to it, which is
feel
odd to
better.
me.
A
Listen,
lot of these MAGA Republicans or MAGA influencer makes them feel better about their shitty opinions and shitty morals and shitty values. That's what they're there for. They'll
and
repeat it
like
for
remember,
them
old boy,
out in the world, so that way they can feel better and say, you know what? That's not that bad. It's not that bad. There is a difference.
what was the old boy
There
that
is a
said
difference.
the was it what was that shooting that happened somewhere that he said was fake and they sued him and he lost everything.
Oh,
Rush Limbaugh, what
what's
not
his
Rush? Was
name?
it Rush
No,
Limbaugh?
Alex
Somebody.
Jones. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah,
So, one of them cats, right?
yeah.
So
Soon as
people, you can say,
$1 billion.
listen, he lost everything, right?
Yeah,
So you can say whatever you want, you know what I'm saying, but be prepared for the consequences. This is what
he's
I
still
always
on the
tell
air
folks.
though. He's still on the air.
Nah,
He
that dude is
lost,
broke, bro.
but he hasn't paid. No, he hasn't paid it.
He-
He hasn't paid. I'm telling you, they're trying to still get the money from him. He is
I know,
still on the air
I
right
know,
now. They're
I
trying to
know,
get money
I
from him.
know, I know. But I promise you, that man is broke, right? So the whole
Like
thing
so.
I'm trying to say is like people are gonna list it anybody, bro. Like you're gonna have people that follow Charlie Manson, bro. You have people that freaking
Oh, I
talk
know. You
that
got
ate the
people that
blue
follow
pill with
Trump.
the original Alex Jones, right? So
Yeah.
people are gonna follow people, and then she gonna make some people feel much better. But what's gonna happen in the end? She's gonna freaking when all the truth comes out and gets slapped in the face, she's gonna come back like, I was told this and I had to believe it. Can you guys forgive me? Da, 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 like they always do, bro. Everybody do. It's like
Mhm.
the same thing that's over and over. I'm sick of it. Actually, I'm just
Yeah.
like people just watch this stuff and they like, oh my god, this is what she's, and they give them a platform because they don't care about the information. They just want the views because that's how they make money. That's
Yep.
how it
And
works.
and she's getting it. She's getting it. She's definitely getting it from the people that she want to
Mhm.
get it from as well. All right,
100%.
y'all. So I'm done being pissed off. I'm done being pissed off. Let's be happy now. Let's go into the happy part of the pie. Again, we're about to talk about the bucket list. We're about to talk about the bucket list. If you want to call in and tell us what's on your bucket list, you feel free to. If you want to call, if you want to call in via voice, if you want to call in and be on the show, you're more than welcome to as well. And let us know what's on your bucket list. What have you accomplished already, and what's still left to be accomplished. If you don't want to do any of those two things, you can always leave something in the comments and let us know what they are, and we'll talk about them as well. I guess, Ronnie, I'm gonna start with you before I get to mine. I'm gonna get to mine here in a minute.
Right.
Start with yours first.
What's it?
What's on your bucket list, and what have you accomplished, and what's still left to go?
I don't really have a big. I don't never really had a bucket list, man. Because I pretty much do whatever. And it's like, oh my god, I want to go to the top of Mount Everest. No, that's never been a bucket
Mm-hmm.
list of mine. My bucket list is to have my kids be successful people that are basically that contribute to the society. And that bucket list is being filled every single day because they're great people, which in turn
Mm-hmm.
means that they've learned some of the things that they've been taught. So my bucket list is to see them succeed in life, and I think it's for me, coming from where I came from, you know what I'm saying, and the environment I came through, to even have this ability to do what I'm doing, not just me with the village, you know what I'm saying, to
Mm-hmm.
raise these tremendous great people is my bucket list.
All right, that's cool. That's cool and all, but you got to come up with something. I'm gonna give you a minute. I'm
I
gonna
don't
tell
have
you
a,
about mine.
go
I'm
ahead.
gonna tell you
I
about
don't have
mine. It's gotta be something. It's gotta be something. So I'm gonna just tell you about mine. So the major thing that I had on my bucket list, and I've had this on my bucket list since I found out that it was possible to do. Um, it was the number one and only thing was to piss on the street in Europe legally. Yes, legally. So here's the story. In England and other parts of the US, they'll put out porta potties, and you can actually go in there or just piss on the street in Europe. So what happened was we were in London, and my wife and I, this is right before we got married, and we're in London. And I was like, we got to do this. We got to go. We got to find where the urinals are on the street, and I got to make it happen. That's something I always wanted to do. So we're actually was in an Uber driving around, and man, I swear to God, I seen like a truck, like a 2-ton truck, pass us by with nothing but urinals on them, and I was like, there it is, there it is. My wife didn't see it. She thought I was lying. I was like, no, I swear to God, I just seen a whole bunch of urinals going that way. And so I asked the Uber driver, I said, hey, where is there to go, to go piss on the street? I got to go piss on the street. And he just said, oh, just go down to the bar district, maybe some down there. Because he said, I ain't never seen that before. And I said, no, I swear to God, I just seen them. All right, so here's proof that I made some things happen. There I am. There it is. I went and got So I went and got all juiced up for it. Went to the bar, drank a whole bunch of beer. And by the way, you do wash your hands. They do have a little dispenser, a soap and water dispenser right next to it, but just outside the shot. So yeah, I did wash my hands, y'all. This is a clean show. So, but that was the number one thing on my bucket list. I had to go piss on the street in Europe, and I actually accomplished it. I was so happy. It was like, you heard my wife there laughing about it. I called my friends, I called family. We put it on Facebook. Like I had to really talk about pissing on the street of Europe. So that was the number one thing I wanted to do. The other thing I wanted to do was obviously go to a Super Bowl to see my team win the Super Bowl. I was able to accomplish that last year. Go Birds! Super Bowl champs.
Go Birds!
There we go, former Super Bowl champs. So I was able to see that. And so got 3 more things that was on my bucket list that I have yet to accomplish. Number 1 on my bucket list is I want to get back on stage and actually be in like a TV show or a movie or something like that. And I really should have did it because they were shooting a show out here with Samuel L. Jackson. And I never had it. I didn't create the time to do it. I'm gonna say it that way. I didn't create the time to put my headshot out there and try to go do something and do that. So I didn't get that. So that's one of the things on my bucket list. I also want to get on an open mic and try stand-up comedy. I'm actively, when I think of something, I put some notes in my phone or whatnot, because I want to try stand-up comedy. And then last but not least, that's why I'm wearing this hat right here. I've always, being a young kid, obviously not being able to afford to do anything, do much when it comes to sports and stuff like that. And when the Sixers got Jaylen Brown and hopefully LeBron comes, I called my boy who also was from Philly that doesn't live there as well, and I was like, "Yo, we need to do something. We need to go ahead and get some season tickets. We need to just do it and just And so I went ahead and got a half season, so only 21 games, but I got season tickets to the Sixers, so I'm a Sixers season ticket holder, even though I live 2,000 miles away. So
big ups.
That one I can talk about. So go Sixers. I'm really looking forward to getting out there and watching some games. I got my mom, my pop, my brother, my sister out there. So I'm going to always have somewhere to stay. Scepter always runs, so I don't need a car. So I'm going to just go up there, for a couple weeks at a time and just go to some, when they got a home stand, go to some games and then flop it out. So that was the things on my bucket list. So Ronnie, I want you to keep thinking about yours. Sister Wu, you up? You here?
I am here.
All right.
And it's funny you brought this up because a couple months ago, I started making a list of 50 things I want to do before I turn 50.
Oh, wow.
So I have a year and a half, give or take a couple of days, whatever.
Hmm.
Um, and some things I will keep to myself because I believe that when you share your thoughts, ideas, whatever, before it actually happens, it doesn't always come true.
Okay.
So some things I will keep to myself, but the fun things, and anybody that wants to join me, we can make it a road trip, whatever.
Hmm.
The first thing I want to go to see the presidential heads in Virginia. I think it's Williamstown, Virginia, some
Presidential
part of
Williamsburg.
Virginia, and it's
Williamsburg.
huh?
Williamsburg.
Sure, yeah, there. I gotta have to take a guess. Let's go.
I'm in
Um,
Virginia, so I can tell you that.
Okay, I want to go there and just
Mhm.
see like all the presidential sculptures, whatever it is. It just looks like a cool time. My main thing, and it may sound silly, but this is what I want to do. I want to go see all the hip hop murals, streets, roads, whatever. I definitely have to go to the Wu Tang district, hopefully on a Wu Tang Wednesday.
Hmm.
I want to go see Biggie Smalls mural that was done in Brooklyn. I want to go to the Locks actually have one in the Bronx, I believe.
Hmm.
I got to see Big Puns, like all of those things. I really really want to do. And it's just a cool part of my life. Hip hop is definitely part of
Oh,
my
yeah.
life. It is the soundtrack to my life. When there are celebrities that say something about where they were, what they did, whatever, whatever, when they made a song, I
Hmm.
thank them. Thank you for the soundtrack to my life. Um, one thing I've done, I've sat front row at a concert of an artist that I love, Babyface. I was second
Oh,
row at a Babyface concert, and he literally, if you've never seen him in concert,
yes.
please go.
Oh, it's an
Please,
amazing show. It really is.
it's an outstanding show
It is.
because again, he's literally wrote the soundtrack to
Hmm.
all of our lives.
Yep.
People he's written for that we didn't even realize. Like, oh
He
man,
still
I
ain't in the
forgot
Rock
about
and
that.
Roll Hall of Fame.
It
Boo!
still ain't in
I'm
the
sorry.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Yeah.
That's it.
Yes, we have to petition for that.
Yeah.
So that's something that I've done that I've always wanted to do. Um, something else that I did that I didn't know that I wanted to do was I told Ghostface Killer in front of my husband, "Oh my God, I love you so much," to his face, and he was like, "Oh, thank you." And I didn't know that was on my bucket list, but I did. So, and I think the last one is I would like to. I used to want to travel down the Nile River, but I
Mm,
think I just want to go to Egypt and just
mhm.
be amongst the pyramids and just be there. I don't know what's calling me there, but I've always wanted to go to Egypt and just be there. Not necessarily a tourist, not
Mhm.
necessarily a local, but I just want to see where um, I'm guided to
Oh,
there.
wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So, 'cause we've been to Egypt, my wife and I.
Hmm.
You have to have a tour guide that actually has a bachelor's degree in history to get around in Egypt.
Okay.
So, I got a tour guide for you when you do get ready to go.
Okay.
Like if you want to go to pyramids and you want to go to see King Tut and all of that stuff, you got to have a tour guide, and he actually
Okay.
got to show his credentials and stuff to buy even the museum tickets to get in.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so it's like it's a really big deal, and
Okay.
you want to have one because it's actually a pretty dangerous country. I didn't want to go. I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not want to
Right.
go
Yeah.
because and to get into the lobby of the hotels,
Mhm.
you have to go through metal detectors, including your
Okay.
luggage. So it's like airport security in hotels. So it
Right.
was just like but anyway, I'm not gonna say not to go. People
Yeah.
still been going for a long time, but
Yeah.
just know that part. But I definitely got a good tour guide for you when you're ready to
Cool.
go.
Thank you. Yeah, those are some of the things on my list. I think education, I've accomplished a lot with my education.
Hmm.
I toy with going back. I go back and forth with going back to school for a doctorate, but
Mm.
then it's like I don't want to pay for it. I want somebody else to pay for it.
Hmm.
um, so yeah, as far as financially, I'm in a good place. Of course, I could always use more.
Yeah, we all can do that.
Yeah, just more to sustain my life for the long haul because I'm going to live to 100, plain
Okay.
and simple. So I want to make sure, like you said, Ronnie, my family is good. My kids are good people. I never worry about them.
Hmm.
Um, you know, my nieces and nephews, they're good people. So it's just, yeah, now it's for the long haul. See what else we could experience for the long haul.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. All right, Ronnie, I'm about to come back to you again, but before I do, I'm gonna let everybody know if you're watching, what's on your bucket list. Give us a call, whether it's like I said via a phone or through the link, or right put it in the chat so we can talk about it. Ronnie, you got one more second. I'm gonna just talk about Spa Divas. Her bucket list is to visit Paisley Park. I actually wanted to go to Paisley Park in March of this year. Outstanding. It felt like Prince was still there. It really, 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 really was a I mean, he built Paisley Park as his studio, his home, but also he made it to be where it could be a museum when he passed away. Like he was that forward thinking. So and that's what they completely converted it to as a museum. It is outstanding. Um see the National Museum of African American History. Got a chance to go there. That was moving and outstanding as well. So those are two great things to have on your bucket list, as well as the Obama Presidential Center in Chicago. Haven't been there yet because it just opened, but hopefully we'll all get a chance to get there. One fun fact: one of my good shipmates actually was the helped build the Presidential Center. He's an iron worker and on an iron company actually, and so actually put the rebar in for the Presidential Center. Um,
Can I say something about the African American Museum?
go for it.
We need a group trip, camp trip, whatever, all of us to the African American Museum. I've been there several times.
Mm,
It's so moving. Like if I could stay there for a week, I would, because it's just an amazing place. I didn't feel out of place. You know how when you go
hmm.
some places you feel a little out of place just because you may be the only black person or whatever.
Hmm.
You never feel like that there. It literally feels like a second home because you're surrounded by all the accomplishments of
Yep.
your own people. So I'm rooting for a road trip, group trip, however you want to do it. And we just spend a couple days there, something like that.
Yeah. Yep. This is great information to know. Cowboy Keith said, plan your Obama Center visit well in advance. Tickets are sold out until November, the last time he saw. So that's wow. That's pretty interesting to know right there. I did not know that. So yeah, it's going to take it may be a year or two before things can really calm down, and it'll be a lot easier to get in same day or something like that for sure, for sure. But if you're going up there, if you're going to um,
A
Chicago,
shot.
you're going to know when you're going. Yeah, so you just gotta plan accordingly. That's good to know. That's good to know. All right, Ronnie, you back up. You gotta give us something.
Listen, I can tell you guys. I guess you guys like. Let me tell. So for me, I've never been like that kind of person. Like I
Hmm.
gotta do something. I gotta do. I just go out and do it.
Okay.
But I mean, I don't have a bucket list. I've never really had a bucket list type thing. Like you know what I'm saying? Like man, I
Yeah.
really need to want to go do this. Like you got to remember, man, I've been to damn near every continent on the planet. I've experienced a lot of things that
Hmm.
then I didn't even know existed. So for me, bucket list wise, you know what my bucket list thing would be? To watch
Hmm.
the Detroit Lions in the Super Bowl.
There you go. See, there you go. There you
There
go.
we go, right there. That's
There
a
you go.
bucket list
There
wish
you
right
go.
there. Let my
There you
Lions go
go.
to let my Lions go to Super Bowl. I promise you, I'm
You
gonna be
going.
there. You
There you
understand
go.
me?
See, you got something.
So that
You
there go
got
a
something.
bucket list thing for you.
Hmm. I got two more things to add. I just thought about it. I want to visit. I'm still in this from Cowboy Keith and his wife, the travelers. They have been to all 7 continents.
Nice.
I got 2 more left. Me and my wife got 2 more left. We have Australia and Antarctica left.
Man,
So we got to get down.
Man, Australia, man, you gonna laugh, man.
Haven't been to Australia yet.
I ain't never been to Antarctica. I never been up. Yeah, I never. That's the one. That's the only place I've never been
to. Somebody says you got some bold Super Bowl dreams there, Ronnie.
Hey, listen. As long as my dreams keep dreaming, I'm a dream. God dang, Vanessa.
Yeah, so Vanessa, this is Vanessa's bucket list. She says she wants to see the Northern Lights, take a jury making class, spend the summer seeing as many national parks as she can, and the Obama Library, and take the kids to New York. There you go. That's a good list. Outstanding. All right, y'all. I think that's really it for today. Unless anybody else got some more things, if you're on and you want to get on real quick, come on. If not, we're going to go to cleaning our palette, and I have a wonderful cleaning our palette for this week. I'm really, 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 really happy about this one here. So just read off some comments. Good info there, Keith, about the Obama presidential library, because I did not know that it was like that. Oh, I'll tell you this too, Auntie. It's the same way. Well, it's not the exact same way, but Paisley Park is definitely by appointment. So if you're going, you need to go look for those tickets in advance as well, because they actually go by time slots, day and time slots, and so stuff goes pretty quick. Even though it's been years since he's passed, so definitely that would be one of those things too. That before you go, when you buy your ticket to Minnesota, go ahead and buy your tickets to go to Paisley Park as well at the time that you want to go.
I have a question, since we're talking about bucket lists and accomplishments and things like that.
Go for it.
Is there anything that I'll say was on your list that you did and it was very underwhelming, or it wasn't what you anticipated it to be? Like, you hyped it up in your head so much, and then when you experienced it, it was like, oh, wah wah.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
So mine would be when I went to the Super Bowl and the Eagles lost against Kansas City. Yeah, I was fighting. I was cussing. I was fighting. I was so pissed off walking back to the car. Then we get to the car and we had to sit in the parking lot for 2 damn hours before we can actually pull out. Like it was horrible. It was horrible because I was so happy when Rihanna was on halftime. I'm dancing. I'm happy. We up by 10, and then to see that field goal go in, it was like we screwed.
Yeah.
And so that was definitely underwhelming. It was terrible. That was terrible. I enjoyed the Super Bowl watching us win when we won in New Orleans and had a good time. But I will say, being home in Philly, when we won there and be able to walk Broad Street and go to City Hall and do all of that stuff, that was much better than even being at the game, picking up confetti, seeing, go birds of people and going to Bourbon Street. All that, it was fun, but it wasn't as good as being with my family, being with my friends, and celebrating the Eagles winning then. So I wouldn't go back to another Super Bowl. Not telling you not to go do it, Ronnie. I would say absolutely go. If you can afford it, and go. But it wasn't as good as being in Philly for that. All right, Ronnie, what you gonna say?
I'm 100% going. So for me, like my first visit to Africa was terrible. Terrible.
Did you go to Djibouti or somewhere?
What's that?
Did you go to Djibouti or something?
Yeah, I was there for a year. That was just one of the places. The other place was awesome. Kenya, freaking every place else I went through into Africa, we had a great time. But just to see the first time I ever get to, the motherland, and you realize how terrible people are living. You know what I'm saying? How terrible people are living. Like, people don't even understand. Like, what the real world is out there. People, what they're living through and what they're going through because of how badly the government is treating them, and how bad the conditions are. Dude, I almost cried, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was a grown ass man in uniform. I watched it. I couldn't believe that shit. The stuff that people don't that they show you is like, yeah, it don't look as bad as it is until you get there. You like, what in the
Mm-hmm.
how do people get away with this? And it's us doing it to us. That's the bad part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say if you get a chance to go back as a civilian, definitely go. I think. I say again.
Yeah. Don't go to Djibouti. Go to Kenya.
Yeah, yeah, not Djibouti. Yeah,
Go to
Kenya,
Nairobi.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, just because it's like the same thing of when you station on a ship versus when you go you go on a cruise. It is much better when you get a chance to go on a cruise and do it. Because I did not want to go to Africa because I've been to Africa too on a ship, and
Mhm.
to go back as a civilian, it was 1,000 times better to the point where it's like, okay, I would actually go back and I really enjoyed it. Um, so we went to Ghana,
Mhm.
uh, South Africa,
Mhm.
Egypt, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Kenya, and
Oh, you gotta
all
hit
of them.
Zanzibar too. Make sure if
Right.
y'all want to go
Okay.
do some fun stuff, do Zanzibar, bro.
Okay. Okay.
Man.
So yeah.
You talk. Listen,
Yeah.
they got the salt uh river that they say Jesus
Hmm.
walked through. Or whatever. It's like you gonna float on it, bro. It's like you just
Oh wow,
I
it's like the
can't
Dead
float.
Sea.
I can't listen.
Yeah.
I can't float. I suck. I mean, like I floated in that mug. I was like, damn, this is
Hmm.
dope. So yeah, if you want to
Hmm.
go do something crazy, like look up
Yeah.
Zanzibar and do it.
Yeah.
You'll have a
Sister,
great time.
I would say if you're going to go to Egypt, I would definitely say hit up another African country while you're there because you're already there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Um,
yeah.
Right.
and even if it's not an African country, then hit up something in Europe, hit up something in not the Middle East right now, but hit up Turkey or Greece or Italy or like I said another African country, Kenya, because that's still on the east side.
Right.
Just because you don't spend that much time flight wise to go, and after you really only need about unless you want to do the Nile. If you do the Nile riverboat thing,
Hmm.
then you need more time. But you really only need about 3 or 4 days in Cairo before you've seen, pretty much everything.
Right.
Oh, and
I
be prepared
do
to
want
take
to
that.
go to.
Listen, honestly, if you honestly gonna go there, make sure you do get on the website. It's CIA.gov or whatever it is, and they recommend a lot of like medicines and stuff like that. You might want to make
Oh
sure
yeah,
you look up the countries, and because you are supposed to, people don't do it, which is kind of weird to me. You're supposed to take a whole bunch of medications before you go. Make sure your shots and all that stuff is up
yeah.
to date.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
some of the
you do
countries you have
go
to
over
get a visa. Yeah, to get a
Yep.
visa to get into the country, you got to get shots and stuff. But you was
there.
gonna
Yeah.
say, Sister Wu?
Um, you guys are my tour guides for when I start planning all of my trips to Africa. That's
Okay.
one. But two, another thing on my list, when you said Turkey, it reminded me. I want to go to
Mm.
Turkey and get the full
You,
medical markup that
Oh,
they do on you.
you don't
oh,
And it
really?
only costs like
you don't want to go
two
to
thousand
Turkey.
dollars, something like that. Huh?
Don't
You
go
said
to
I don't want
Turkey.
to go to Turkey?
Nah, Turkey's not
Turkey
a good
wasn't
place.
bad. I will say that Turkey wasn't bad when we went. We went to
Well,
Istanbul and then
I
another
may
city.
be very naive, but
Be
I'm going
careful.
based on
Yeah.
what I saw, online. If there's a
Hmm.
Hmm.
better country to go to, I'll go there. But I want to get all of the medical exams that it costs $5 million for over here.
So what all do you get? Because I never even heard it. I never even heard it. I
I
know
ain't
people
heard
go
that
there
either.
for the implants. I know people go for the implants, like for hair implants, but I don't know
Yeah,
about.
I have all my hair. I'm good on that. But you can go there and spend like the whole day and you get everything: colonoscopy, mammogram, blood work, dental work. They check your eyes, everything that you need to know about your health.
Hmm.
They do it within a day. I'll say 2 days because
Hmm.
colonoscopy takes time.
Yeah.
Mammogram takes time. All of those things. For men, check your prostate. All
Hmm.
the things that it would take us a year to get over here, they do it expeditiously. And you have the results and you have all of the information to live a better life, in my opinion, based on what I've seen. And it could be kind of, I'll say, inflated because
Hmm.
of social media and stuff like that. But that's just something I want to do. I want to know all the information that's going to help me live to 100. You know what I mean? I know my blood type, but what do I need to eat for my blood type? You know what I mean? What do I need to, how many hours a day do I need to work out for my blood type? Stuff like that. So, you know, if Turkey is not the place to go for that, I am very open to learn where I need to
Yeah.
go
Well,
for that kind of health assessment. That's
no, I think it is. I think it is the place to go because Cowboy Keith has wrote a comment that is exactly why he postponed his visit to Turkey until I have all the things I want to get when I get there. So I guess it is the place to go. I did not know that at all.
Yeah, I've been seeing it for a while, and I really, really want to do it. Just because as we get older and as our parents age, I've been making the correlation like, oh, okay, well, my mom does this. I tend to do the same thing. Why do I do this? Or my dad had this. I think I might be getting that. Why? How? You know, I'm trying to connect the dots. And I think that medical assessment would definitely help me connect the dots. So.
Oh, okay.
That's just another thing.
All right. All right. Well, with that being said, y'all, we're going to wrap the show up and go with cleaning our palate. Ron, you got anything this week?
Mine's is kind of like, so I haven't said anything too much about it, but just pray for my family, man. My cousin, she passed her. She lost a son last week that we gonna be having his funeral Saturday. And this is her third. Like her mom passed away a year ago. Her daughter passed away on New Year's Day, and then she just lost her son here last week. So just pray for our family, man. We're going through it. She been going. Well, we've all been going.
For sure. Absolutely.
Appreciate
Absolutely. That. Absolutely. Mr.
Very
Blue, you got
sorry for your
anything?
loss.
We're very sorry for your loss. Very sorry.
I do. I actually increased my muscle mass in the last 3 months, I think it was. At the gym that I go to, they have this scale. I'm sure some people are familiar where it gives you like your BMI and all these other things. And I increased my muscle mass. I lost 1 point of my BMI. And once I get like under 30, then I will no longer be considered obese to their standards. And I'm very excited about that. I know that's a crazy thing to be excited about.
No, that's not. No, that's not. That's outstanding. That is really outstanding. Yeah, for real. Congrats on that. Congrats on that. Congrats on that. So I'll finish off the cleaning the palette. I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but my light-skinned producer has not hit the show today. He up and quit last week.
Oh man,
something about the working conditions and not feeding him enough. You know, always keeping the air on 80. You know, so he just wasn't feeling right about the house. You know, he just said, you know what, I'm done with this. You could take this show and shove it up your butt. So I lost my producer, and so when he left, he went ahead and made his parents buy a home.
Oh, wonderful!
Yeah,
congratulations!
Congratulations!
Sink is a homeowner. Yeah, Sink is a homeowner with his parents. They bought a house last week and they moved in last Saturday. So the house is a lot quieter. We still got Chummy around here. I think she's out there with her mom out in the pool. But yeah, so I lost a producer. He's not here as much anymore. So yeah, but it's bittersweet. I'm happy for them to be able to buy a house. I mean, that's number 2 for us in the family of the kids wise. The youngest one, he bought his house at 20 years old in DC. And now little Bobby bought his home now at 24 here in Texas. So I'm really excited about that for them.
So excited for them.
Yeah.
I did the very same thing that they did. I bought young, And I didn't even realize it until another friend said, "Oh, you were the first one to do it." I said, "I was?" Okay. But hopefully, well, we know they're going to gain so much equity, and hopefully
Yep.
they can roll that over into something even bigger, better, whatever their dreams are.
Yep.
Congratulations to them.
Yep. Hopefully. Yep. So with that being said, the pod has concluded. Next week, I talked with Sheree she's actually was on a pod today listening. We couldn't get the confirming for this week, but she will be on next week to talk about her book. So I'm looking forward to that. And the week after that, we're gonna dedicate a lot of the show to our accountability board. And I can and Sister Wu, I would love to have you come on in and talk about the things that you're doing with your accountability as far as with your weight journey and stuff like that as well, because some of us is going through the same thing and stuff. So in a couple weeks, that'll be our topic, but next week we want to talk about the book as well. So hopefully I see y'all next week, and that's it. Love y'all.
Sure.